What's up, guys? I've got a swim bait video today, the Spro BBZ 1 Rat. I had a little request I get some more swim bait videos out here, and I was planning on doing a few anyway, and I typically fish on Sundays, but the weather just hadn't really been cooperating here, so I was already shooting some other videos. I said, you know what, let me go ahead and crank out a swim bait video for everyone. I've got the BBZ1 Rat, and it comes in three sizes. We've got the 50, the 40, and the 30. And I'm going to run down the specs on these things here. The 50, that's the big one. We've got 10 inches, that's from the front to the tail. And the length without the tail is 5.25 inches, and it weighs 2.5 ounces. And that one is $29.99. And then we've got the 40, that's the middle one. We've got 7.5 inches, tip to tail. The body, 4 inches, and 1 ounce is the weight. And then the small one, the 30, or I'm sorry, the middle one, the 40, is $25.99. I forgot the price on that. The small one, the 30, let's see, with the tail, 6.25 inches, 3.25 without, half ounce, and that one is $21.99. So these are all rat baits, and Spro came out with these just because a lot of these kind of smaller one-man, two-man operation swim bait guys were making these rat baits, and they're very expensive when you have a little one-man, two-man operation. So they wanted to bring the rat bait into kind of the mainstream a little bit more. So they came out with this bait, and it's got some cool features. Besides just being a whole lot cheaper. Typically one of those other rats is going to cost you closer to $100. So it's a lot cheaper, and it's readily available. You can find these anywhere just about now. But it's got some cool little features. Let's start with the colors. The colors are great on these things. If you take a look around there, we've got that white color, that kind of albino color in the 50. We've got kind of a shad pattern on the 40, and then just kind of this gray pattern, this kind of more natural pattern on the 30. They come with an extra tail, so all of these came with an extra tail that you can replace. It's kind of like a little toothpick kind of thing. You can kind of see how you can poke it out, take out that tail, and replace it if you want. They've got gamakatsu hooks, so they come with good hooks. They're made out of this kind of plastic, I don't know if it's like a resin or exactly what it is. Well, they're not wood, let me put it that way. Some of these swim baits are wood that you see guys making. These are not. However, these things, I noticed something when I fished it. It's really apparent in the big one, but you can tell in the 40 as well. It has this knocking sound. It's really interesting when this bait is coming through the water and it's swimming and these sides are coming together. It's got this distinct kind of knocking sound, and I think it's something the fish just don't hear very often. It's really interesting. You'll have to get one and fish it and listen for yourself. There's some videos. The guy that designed this bait, I think his name is Bill Simontel, I think. I'm probably not pronouncing his last name right. He does a lot of the BBZ stuff, but he's got videos fishing this thing. They're really good if you want to see him in action. And of course, he takes the purple one in the big size, the 50, and he's catching everything down to like 2-pounders, so don't be afraid of the giant size. Although, even though I say that, I do find myself fishing the 40 the most. But yeah, 2-pounders will bite the big one. I like the two bigger sizes the best. The small one, it's cool, but to me it's just more like a regular kind of topwater feel. It doesn't have that rat feel. I feel like if you want that traditional feel of fishing a rat bait, it needs to have a little bit of size to it, so it has that presence on the surface. Now the retrieve and the way this thing works on the surface is if you retrieve it slow, it's like a wake bait. You can throw some pops in there, or you can let it sit still and kind of walk it. It'll walk a little bit. If you reel faster, it's going to dive down about a foot. I like to just do a real slow wake with it. That's kind of what I like to do with this. And then if I get over something, get over an area where I think a fish might be, I may stop it and maybe just, pop my rod once or twice. But these things are really cool. You can see they're detailed. They're really nice looking. The colors and everything about these baits, they did a really good job. The little feet on the bottom and the tail and the way they look. Really nice looking baits, and I definitely would say, for the price to get a hold of a rat bait, check them out and fish them and see what you think. That's kind of that sound I was talking about. That's really, it's just something you don't think about, but when you hear it and see it in action on the water, like, well, it's kind of a really neat thing that can draw a few strikes. So the Spro BBZ 1 Rat, it's got my stamp of approval. It's just an easy way to get into the swim bait world without having to hunt down. Some of the other ones they're hard to get a hold of. When guys make a batch of swim baits, they sell out right away. It's hard to get your hands on it. So it's nice when you have a company like Spro come along, bring it to the mainstream a little bit, and make it easily accessible. I'm going to have some more videos coming out with some more swim baits. You can see I got one hiding in this box here. I've got that 316 hyper herring sitting in there. We'll probably get a video on him. I haven't gotten to fish it yet, but I'm sure I'll do a video on that. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and check these things out. They've got these things at Field and Stream and Dick's Sporting Goods and Bass Pro, and they're really not that hard to get a hold of right now. So go check one out for yourself. You're probably gonna, if you haven't seen one up close, I'll go ahead and warn you, you probably are going to be intimidated when you see this thing in the box. This thing looks huge in a box, but don't be afraid of it. Go ahead and pick it up, or at least pick up the 40 if you're intimidated. But these things are really cool. Check them out. I've said it in my other lure videos. I like Spro. I think they're a great company. But you guys take it easy and go catch you some fish.